Outlander hit some themes this week that were personal for me, and it ends quite traumatically, but we'll get there. Claire's making friends on Fraser's Ridge with a nice old Cherokee woman. The two are working with herbs and learning each other's languages. But while Claire is happy, Roger is dealing with the heartache of looking for Bree at Inverness. He finds where she has stayed, but not her. Meanwhile, back at the homestead, in the span of one episode, their home is fully built and beautifully furnished. It's way fancier than that place Pa Ingalls built, plus it's trendy as heck. It looks like Joanna Gaines has been in there. But the family unit is going to split up to take care of business. Claire needs to help a German woman deliver a baby, and Jamie needs to find some settlers for Fraser's Ridge. It's not like he can take care of 10,000 acres alone. Ian and Jamie head 3 days away into town to try to find people to come live on Fraser's Ridge. However, even though Jamie is a natural leader, he cannot get the men to move to his land because none of them want to pay unfair taxes. In fact, most of them say they've already lost everything due to unfair taxation. It's like a revolution is coming. While this development is disappointing to Jamie, but one thing that was not disappointing was when Jamie runs into his godfather, Murtaugh. Apparently, he'd been sent to America as an indentured servant, not completely uncommon in this day and age, and he's working as a blacksmith. Oh yeah, and all those people who are upset about unfair taxes are following Murtaugh's lead. This would be fine except for the fact that Jamie signed his allegiance to the king. Back on Fraser's Ridge, Claire has helped deliver a baby for some German settlers. But while she's there, the Cherokee come to get a drink of water from the stream, and the grandfather flips out. Gets his gun, goes outside, and then the Cherokee react, and it's a standoff. Claire puts herself right in the middle of it and tries to get them to stop, and eventually asks the Cherokee to just get their water further up the stream so that they can have peace. They do, but not before the grandfather is completely unhinged. She heads home, but it's bad news. The baby, the mother, and the uncle have all passed away, and only the grandparents are left. And they believe that they died from measles contracted from the Cherokee. Not a concern for Claire, of course, because she's had vaccinations. Claire's left on edge at her home with no cell phone to get in touch with Jamie. She just sits there with a gun and her dog just waiting to see what will happen next. Eventually, the grandfather comes to visit her and says everything's taken care of and gives her the scalp of her friend. It is beyond gruesome. Eventually, Claire puts it in a box and essentially cremates it in the fireplace, but she's lost her friend for no reason. The Cherokee are upset and they exact their own revenge by sending flaming arrows into the house of the grandparents. It's especially awful when the grandma comes staggering out of the house and then you see a flaming arrow in her back and then she just ignites. The grandpa's coming over the ridge to see her, but he's too late, and then he's killed by the Cherokee as well. This part of the show was really hard for me to process, mainly because my own grandfather died in a house fire and left in a very similar way. He wasn't shot by arrows, but still, he burned to death. And it was just really difficult for me to watch. However, the show did not leave us on that sad eye for an eye note. We see Murtaugh whistling Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy as he decides he will come to at least visit his friends at Fraser's Ridge. And while Roger is heartbroken, we are given the promise of another reunion as Bree passes through the stones. This episode is titled Savages, and at the end, I was left feeling like everyone was a savage, and maybe that was the point.